in the top left-hand side, we've got from Bravestar, it's Scarlett.
All right, so no drones going out. Got an answer.
The comparison between webcams is amazing. PiLiPiLi is like in front of like a billboard light or something. He's so bright, and Scarlett is just in the shadows.
Yeah, she actually was saying in the lobby that she refuses to turn her other light on. She's going to be in the shadows.
Nice.
Yeah. So
That's how she's gonna get all the run bys to be successful. Gonna run those lanes in. PiLiPiLi can't see it coming. That's why he's super light right now. See all the links.
Clearly. I mean, she's one of the, I guess, the famous pros who actually like takes their socks off to play, or takes their shoes off to play rather, even when up on stage. So all about comfort, you know. PiLiPiLi, apparently he's comfortable in the light. He's actually saying legitimately that he was like, I can't understand how you guys play in the dark. And I was like, so he's not a true gamer because he doesn't play at 5 in the morning when your lights are off and you don't want to wake your parents. Gotcha.
Is that the standard we still live to, ZG?
I mean, isn't it though? Is that not what kids do nowadays?
I mean, I guess so. I don't know. I guess I did play. I get it. I played in the dark as well. Like, you know, hid my laptop under my pillow. My mom will never figure it out. I'm sure she doesn't hear that big whirring fan as he tries to support whatever game I'm playing at like 2 a.m.
I mean, I was definitely playing World of Warcraft up beyond my bedtime.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so we're in agreement there at the very least. See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm sure if we polled the people, did you play WoW up till 5 in the morning with the lights off? Everyone would say yes in chat.
Admit it.
Yeah.
Twilight Council opening from PiLi. I'm not surprised to see PiLi go Twilight Council. There was 2 things I was expecting to see from him. Either like Mega Stargate mode, where he goes like super lots of Stargates. Kind of like what Skills is doing, right? Or something like Twilight based, which is going to be a little bit more just aggression off the bat. Obviously, Glaives is what comes to mind, initially, but there are some Twilight builds. Very rarely we see that kind of Blink 7 gate all in. That could be kind of fun. That's the sort of thing I imagine PiLiPiLi doing. And I won't lie, I've not seen a lot of his games lately. So I don't know exactly what kind of styles he's bringing, but knowing the PiLiPiLi of old, those are the things that run through my mind as we set up into a PvC.
Oh, he's not too different from the PiLiPiLi of old.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, so it is Resident Glaives today in this game, but I'm with you. It could be a cheeky surprise blink attack that seems popular for about a week. You know, I'm guessing it won a couple of cheeky games, then it got bad pretty quick. But there's also has like a really strong Stargate into like I think 7 or 8 gate attack that he really likes to do, but it might be a little too obvious for his opponent. She's probably played against him on ladder a few times by now. So instead we get going into Resident Glaives and not just the 4 gate, actually going up to an additional 5th gateway is just a little bit of a difference that might catch Scarlett off guard. But when your opponent's clan tag is not today, but often adepted, I mean, how do you not go adepts against her?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely one of Scarlett's least preferred things to play against. And I like this version too, right? Where we're going to go up to 5 gateways. This isn't just 4 gates. This is a lot of adepts. It's got that little bit of an extra punch. And man, PiLiPiLi is really on time with this. That's a 420 warp in. That is really pristine timing.
420 blaze it. Actually, a little bit of a boost from just not doing any scouting whatsoever, which I would say is usually pretty dangerous against Scarlett, but it has paid off here. Lots of adepts hitting fast and hard, and it's going right into the natural. Spineclaw is going to reposition. Ling's got a decent surround, but it's Resident Glaives. So for the most part, they survive. Drones have to be pulled. More Lings will be sacrificed, and PiLiPiLi is not done yet.
Nope, he's just getting started. Adept shade up into the main. Obviously, we're expecting the next warp in of Adepts to probably hit elsewhere, most likely that 3rd. These Adepts can probably stay here. They've just killed a Queen. The drones just came into the main base, so they're going to get some kills. And right now, Scarlett feels like she's not mining from anywhere, as she is just losing all of the drones. And PiLiPiLi gets off to a flying start with these Adepts, and still going to keep them in the main base even.
What a powerful attack. Yeah, you're right. There's already a decent amount of drones lost. Really good, actually. And then on top of that, all the lost minerals. Even a Queen went down, the trades and the Lings. Maybe finally starting to clean things up. yeah, actually PiLiPiLi is going to go into some production. Okay, add on his gases as well. But that was a lot of damage to take. Even another drone or two going to go down. And PiLiPiLi is still going to have a Warp Prism, right? It's going to fly around and look for more damage over time. But now it's like, okay, if you're going to transition, what are you going into, PiLiPiLi? Well, I guess he's not quite doing it yet. He's actually going to grab a roach or two and shade into the main base again. Catches a drone transfer.
Yeah, I mean, just a few more drones. It just stops Scarlett from getting comfortable, right? Because she never really got roaches up initially against this. Now she's still building roaches. It's not like she can just sort of focus on drones while the roaches continue to clean up. She still needs to hit that roach count, and more drones going down. Scarlett's going to be kept behind. She's got a bit of a link counterattack that's being blocked from really getting anywhere. The best part of this is it's forcing the Adepts to warp in defensively, right? So now at least it's a few Adepts that won't come in aggressively. But she still can't mine from her third base. These Adepts are going to shade her into the natural. And she just has no control over the current situation.
I mean, is her only option... Well, she's not choosing that option, so never mind. I'm just going to suggest an all-in, but she's building drones again. So it's not like she could even try going across the map, hoping that she could bust down a 2-base Protoss. I mean, the Immortal wouldn't be out, but... And it would be some of the fastest reinforcements you could get, you know, on a map like Lightshade. But yeah, not even going to try that. Just going back on the drones. At this point, yeah, if she did go for the attack, the Immortal would be out. Shield batteries could be prepared. Warp Prism's still going to just continue warping in Adepts. It really is just Adepts. And I guess an Immortal every now and again in case she tries the attack. She is back up to almost 40 drones. But I think the Adepts are about to change that again.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem, right? Every time she sort of recovers a little bit, it just seems to get worse once more. And again, it's all about how much have you been mining throughout this. And PiLiPiLi's just been mining way more for the last 2 or 3 minutes. And now he's on his way to Immortal, so he's just getting ready for the follow-up attack, right? Which is going to be Immortal Adept. And then how do you really deal with that after being behind on economy all game long? You're just not going to have the army to fight that.
Exactly. I mean, it's perfectly fine. Just add in a couple of Immortals and go for a straight punch to the gut with the Adept Immortal composition. That is something that could be very effective. I think at this point, if PiLiPiLi wants to do that, then maybe be careful about how many more Adepts he gives away, right? But since they are still gaining a lot of success, 13, 14, 15 by the end here, going to go down. Again, lots of denied mining. It's so far okay. It's so far worth it. And I think we're just going to wait for the Immortals to come along. Here they come now.
Yeah, I mean, I think as long as you're still getting drones, it's okay. It's obviously if you shade like 8 Adepts in and they get nothing and they die, that would have been really bad. But even then, you'd have to lose a lot right now just because this has been so good for PiLiPiLi. He's gotten so much done early on. Now a round of Adepts will warp in and Pili's going to move up the top side and look to keep on fighting.
Yeah, it's an even army supply, which usually doesn't bode well for the Zerg player. Spinecrawler's going to try and get involved in the action, but 2 Immortals can tear it down real quick. It's mostly Roaches, too. So, honestly, the Immortals are going to be so good here. Any Lings are immediately taken clear of by the Adepts. He's going to grab the high ground. The Crucified is going to actually tear down the Warp Prism, and that is going to be it. PiLiPiLi with a very good game number 1.
Yeah, he looks happy with it as well. Just hits Scarlett where it hurts the most, right? Gets the Adepts. It's 5 gates, and I think Scarlett's overall defense is kind of okay if it's 4 gates of Adepts, but you mentioned as well no scouting, and that gave him like that faster warping than you usually see with 4 gates, and then you warp in that in like 5 to 10 seconds earlier with 5 gates, and it's those little things like Scarlett didn't quite have the link count up to properly surround, stop the mineral line movement. You know, there was 0 roaches in production even, and because of that, she never got a chance to build roaches until so late. She just had to keep spamming Lings, which wasn't great, but it was the only thing she could realistically do because despite knowing what the attack was, it still blindsided her because she didn't realize how quick and how many gates it was going to be with.
That was like a frightening Adept push, honestly.
Yeah, it really was.
And it's like most players are going to probe scout because they can even get the hatch block, which is actually one of the more popular ways to start off the Adept build for a long time was to get that hatch block. And certainly against someone like Scarlett, you think it'd just be like a necessity to scout because she could definitely do a pull first or he has to be sending a drone out for a proxy hatch. But he took that risk. And as I said in the game, it absolutely paid off. And then just, you know, good Adept control. You know, some people are going to be like, lol, Adepts. And, you know, I'm sure Scarlett probably has similar thoughts. But, like, there is some control with the Adepts. There is making sure to cancel when necessary, not shade away when you have an opportunity to actually get more drones, actually focus firing, right? If those things don't happen, she loses maybe 15 less drones. You know, there's like a maybe there, right? Like maybe she can actually come back. But PiLiPiLi played it pretty clean. You know, like every adept shade was pretty much worth it.
No, it really was. Like every time he shitted, he got even more damage done, right? He showed up, he got some drones, he was forcing drones away from a mineral line at the very least. He was killing a queen, lings. Yeah, very solid first game, really, just all around from Pili. Had his build, mapped out in his head, executed it.
Yeah.
Ending.
Nothing was there to interrupt him. You know, if that had been a game where Scarlett, say proxy hatch, but hatch blocked, like maybe that would have been just that little bit to interrupt. But he got to do his build in a very clean fashion. Now we move on to, hold on here, Juggernaut. There you go. It's the inflections that really, really do it in. Other, less refined people would say Juggernaut, or what does Nate say? Gigantha or something like that.
Yeah, the Nate one, I'm questioning myself. I'm not gonna lie. He's like Gigantha. I'm like, okay. I feel like everyone else has agreed on something here, but there's one person who hasn't.
Right, exactly. He's trying to make himself the Artosis. How does Artosis say it? Oh, he hasn't had to say it because GSL doesn't have the map yet. Oh my god, I need to hear it from Artosis.
We'll have to wait till the Super Tournament, I guess.
I guess so. Very quick probe being sent out already. In the bottom left, he is up 1. He is PiLiPiLi.
Top right-hand side, down a game, is Scarlett.
So this type of probe scout, just like it guarantees the hatch being blocked. I mean, if someone's going to be absurd and go for a 14 hatch, I guess that's when it would be different. But you're pushing off a second probe, you're pushing off your pile a little bit. It's a guarantee. But as far as to what the future plans are, what this means, does this mean anything, or is it really just to bother Scarlett? I actually wouldn't hate it if it was just to bother Scarlett. You've already done the thing she probably hates the most, and then you also hatch block. I don't know. It's just so annoying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just feels as though PiLiPiLi is playing, like, I'm sure he plays this like normal as well, but it feels like this is also the anti-Scarlett style, right? Get in her head, play the things she doesn't like to play, and now already, like, even if you don't go Glaives, put a hatch block down and maybe Scarlett overreacts because of what happened last game. I kind of love the whole idea of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good series plan for sure.
Yeah, it looks like he is pre-planned this best of 3. Maybe even considering, if she does, block my hatch, my natural, then I'll do X, Y, Z. But so far, it's not Scarlett really doing anything in the early game. I mean, just adapting to the block on the fly, going for the left hatchery. And then we'll see if PiLiPiLi, what his tech choice is. That's usually what we're waiting for. It would be amazing if PiLiPiLi got that drone, but really shouldn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, the moment you're killing a drone with the probe, that's when I'm not sure if Scarlett's really in this series at all, actually.
No, that would be quite the upset. That would be just like, oh, no, you don't, that's not what you want. For the plebs, it doesn't matter so much, but for these pros, God, I actually don't remember the last time I've seen workers kill each other. A TVP, I guess, is more likely, right? But never ZVP.
Yeah, it's that fight at the start, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's because of the SCV drilling, trying to build like any normal worker can. Apart from Terran workers, they have to stand there. But
that's so cool.
The probe comes along. That's great, isn't it?
It is a Stargate option here for PiLiPiLi, and I do have to throw out again that build I talked about. Just threw it out there. Throw it out again. Could be a Stargate into an all-in. I mean, it's really quite the clever thing to do because so many Stargate openers do mean either macro, like a rather quick third base and everything's normal, or it can go into like double Stargate, which is going to affect you a little bit later, right? And maybe even more harassment if it's like Phoenix, or it can go into like an Archon drop follow-up, right? Which again is like harassment, but it's not really the same as going from a Stargate into, I believe, an 8-gate Adept all-in. But I'm talking about all-ins. I see a lot of Lings on the way.
Yeah, a lot of Lings off like 26 drones, which isn't really like the Ling flood number either, is it? Right? It's like 7 drones too late for the normal Ling flood, so
okay.
Heavy Ling,
I guess
fresh.
Yeah, I mean, she really wants to take care of these adepts quickly, but even with all those lings, they came out a little bit late, so still 2 adepts for 4 drones ain't bad. And then I guess she was maybe hoping to catch like a really fast third. Certainly that would have been knocked down, but it is just an adept. Well, the Oracle might have to come back. I guess that's something that she could do.
Yeah, but actually the second Oracle's on the way, so if you just wall this off and that Oracle continues across, okay, he's going to bring it back. I actually feel like if that Oracle continued across and got into the mineral line, got a few more drones, it might have been worth it, but yeah, you're right. These gateways actually taking a bit of a beating, right? The second Oracle's just not here yet, so first Oracle comes back around. I mean, that's the win for Scarlett, but she's down 8 workers. Just to cut drones, to make that many lings, and then to also lose 4 drones, that hurts quite a lot.
Exactly. It's not just one thing going kind of poorly, but 2 things. And the counter, it got an adept, caused a little bit of panic. Shield battery, I guess you wouldn't want to have gotten, but I think overall a bit more awkward here for Scarlett, who also might take further damage from now the doubled up oracles. It is the Phoenix afterwards, so I'm going to take care of the Overlord, and then maybe we'll see like a Robo, or maybe that third base will come down. Yeah, PiLiPiLi is banking quite a bit.
Yeah, he's got some money stacked up. The Oracles, be unsuccessful, really. All said and done. Often in more adepts. I kind of wonder. I guess just looking to protect the third base, right? But I have been wondering for a moment or two. I guess he's just not on that many still. He's only on 4, so yeah, not that weird. 2 more Stargates, those EG.
Okay then.
Well,
alrighty.
He's gonna keep building Phoenix then. So he built 1 Phoenix. Now he's gonna build a lot more Phoenix.
This is going to be really brutal. I don't see Scarlett scouting this. I mean, eventually she might be like, okay, what's the deal? Where's the Robo units? Where's the, I don't know, like charge out warpins? Like, something that might actually tell her that something's different. But as far as triple Stargate Phoenix, maybe if she sees a side of X-Core, because obviously you're not getting warp gate at this point, that would tip her off. And I think she was recently at the natural, but was that enough?
Yeah, it's tough to really put it together, isn't it? I'm not sure. She's on her way to the lair, though, right? So, gonna take over to the lair. Maybe Hydrogen's just the choice anyway. We shall see, because, I mean, you look at what's on the game, there's no Roach Rowan, so I think it's fairly likely we maybe see a Hydrogen just off the lair, because what else could you really do? Like, the only thing that would be really bad here, she's got a lot of gas. Maybe a Spire would be kind of terrible. What else did she do? Infestation Pit and like Swarm Hose? I don't really see that being a thing though, right?
Now you're going through the checklist, but I think it is going to be that. Oh, it is a Hydro. Yeah. There you go. It's already being put down. But this is getting a little bit more awkward than I think Scarlett would have wanted. Close to getting enough damage done. That natural was under fire for a little while, but okay, there you go. A couple last drones going down. All right.
It should have been maybe more. There was actually a point where all 4 adepts attacked separate drones, which is fine. But then they all attacked different drones again, so they didn't finish any of them off. But yeah, it gets up to 8 kills, which is obviously still great. And yeah, all these Phoenix coming through. So yeah, Scarlett, the right call on the Hydrogen. It was obviously one of the most obvious choices, I think. It was more likely to happen than the other 2 things they went through, but you never know. Scarlett's also one to kind of mix it up with the build sometime as well, right? So that's a possibility. What does worry me a little bit is we're already on 12 Phoenix. And if they fly across the map and start picking off Hydras as they spawn, there's a good chance you just trade out extremely well with those Phoenix initially, and it can absolutely still snowball. But I do feel like PiLiPiLi should start moving across the map, and he is doing that now, because if he waited any longer, he was really going to be like, he was just going to arrive, and the surprise factor doesn't even matter because the Hydras are already up, and Scott looks pretty good right now. That's PiLiPiLi just taking his Phoenix to the gym, lifting up a little bit, and then boom, he's done for the day. He's gone.
Yeah, just like 1 rep, and he's like, all right, feeling good. See ya.
It's like every other Phoenix grabs a Korean play, right? Squad, good job, good workout today.
Yeah. It was a little bit awkward, but I think you're pretty spot on. Like, it just, maybe if he had gone a bit sooner, it could have started a little bit more of like just like finding something out of position. But not only did he wait a little while, but it was like right into where exactly she was properly positioned with units reinforcing. Clearly she's known about this for a while with additional Spore Crawlers, additional Queens. And it's been a build up for both of them, but one that right now works out a little bit better for Scarlett. She grabs her 4th and is on 72 workers, but next stage of this is going to be that massive defense from PiLiPiLi, you know, and into carriers. You need to get a fleet beacon. There we go. Yeah, into carriers. So can Scarlett attack before the carrier count is good enough, the interceptor count is good enough? Or is she going to stay back and actually play towards that super late game?
That's the question, isn't it? I mean, we saw some fun Hydra attacks on this map earlier. Obviously, that was with lurkers as well, but I feel like she's going to go. The creep spread's very good to get across the map quickly. She's got a lot of lings coming in to back this up. She'll go Bane's behind it. But I don't mind this idea of just going, because the Phoenix have really done nothing, right? I think she had it figured out from seeing the Cybercore spin and all the rest of it. I think that's why the defense was well set up. And so when these Phoenix have done so little this far into the game, this shouldn't be stoppable. Like, you shouldn't be able to just do this. So much of this is meant to come off of the, you know, the Phoenix having killed a lot of drones, slowed the Zerg player down, made them rebuild overlords. And there's just not been any of that as right now. A couple stasis walls trying to defend, but Scarlett deals with those very well so far. And yeah, I mean, Scarlett's setting up really well at the moment as she just puts herself into position here. The Phoenix going to start lifting up those Hydras. The Banes waddle in to make sure that nothing on the ground will work out. Are the Hydras okay? It's kind of hard to see with all the lifts going on. I think Scarlett's all right here, but the Hydra count's still taking hits. I mean, even if the Hydras die, there is literally 21 probes dead and still counting because the Banes are now in the main base.
Okay, the Phoenixes did surprisingly well for how many Hydras are available, but nothing could stop the Banelings from rolling in, killing all of PiLiPiLi's economy. The Interceptors actually just got destroyed, so while it may look like all the Phoenixes did their job, maybe 3 carriers are full on Interceptors, you know, but they have to rebuild that. Better hold than I thought. Not that it doesn't hold, but it looks a bit better than I thought it would.
Nice.
Maybe if PiLiPiLi had shield batteries actually involved with the fight, as opposed to being kind of farther away than they would like, this could have been very different. But now with the natural even dead, this was too much. Yeah, PiLiPiLi's gonna tap out. GG.
Yeah, that was a game, wasn't it, Zombie Grub? That was a pretty fun one. Billy just nothing really went his way. Like the early Jepson stuff went his way, the defense against the Lings, but after that, nothing really went his way. The Phoenix didn't do anything. Scarlett was defended well. And with that, we go to 1-1. We're going to go to a quick break and return with Game 3.
And we head into game 3 on Death Aura between PiLiPiLi and Scarlett. So PiLiPiLi gets a nice little adept game for game 1. Second game, he tries to go for a surprise triple Stargate Phoenix, but I feel like that was more depending on the Lings not seeing this MX core the second time around, right? Like if they didn't see that, then perhaps it is one of those big like shock gotcha moment. But without the gotcha moment, it didn't really look that strong.
Mm-hmm. No. And we go into game 3, and honestly, we go into Death Aura. I actually don't know what to expect, Zombie Club. I feel like I've said that a lot today, but we've had a lot of these kind of weird matches where players have a few different ways they can play. You know, we see some interesting styles, and it's been kind of like a fun one because of it. But it really leads me to kind of get excited for what's going to happen. One thing we do know, though, is that in the bottom right-hand side from Genesis Gaming is the red Protoss PiLiPiLi.
In the top left, as the blue Zerg, she is Scarlett.
Yeah, just because I'm saying what I'm saying because I still feel like Scarlett is happy to be aggressive past like if she sees the right opportunity or she feels there's a weakness, she could totally be like, you know, maybe you didn't scout that first game, maybe I take advantage of that in some way. I know you pro scout the second game though. You know, now she, you know, 1-1. Scarlett is the kind of player to put it all on the line, even in this decided match. I mean, never forget those 6 pools way back when in like semifinals of WCS in game 5 and stuff. You know, that's just Scarlett all over, right? So that's especially why. And then PiLiPiLi, I feel is just super unpredictable because we know it's probably going to be aggressive, but in what way? No idea. Like, it could really be anything.
So she actually got 6 pulled by J-Dog in game 5. And I remember, I remember because she I think someone posted a meme and she retweeted it or something like that, but it was Jesus knocking on the door and it was like, knock, knock, who's there? 6 Lings lol.
Yeah, I actually remember that as well.
Exactly, yes. I'll never forget. I mean, they're 2 of my favorite players, like J-Dog being like my ultimate favorite, you know, and back in Heart of the Swarm, like they were just like the epitome of that style of player, you know, when Ling Yuta was really, really popular. So it's got it's a really nice memory for me, indeed. But you're not wrong. Both her and J-Dong shared that same feature, right? Which was that they would 6 pool each other, you know, in a game 5, like not really care. So it's always scary to play up against Scarlett, even when you know she's not practicing as much or when she seemingly has this big weakness, you know, like against the Resident Glaives Adepts, which we see at Twilight Council come down right now. You're never just going to be able to bank on like actually defeating her. And while PiLiPiLi certainly did a great job the first time around with Twilight Council, I feel like this has got to be something a little bit different. You just can't do the same thing and expect the same result. But I mean, this is another build where you didn't actually do a probe scout.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to game 1. There's a lot of similarities to it. So I do wonder where it branches off or if it's just like a carbon copy. Because if it's just a carbon copy, I don't expect the defense of Scarlett to be exactly the same. You know, she is a very good player. She knows what she's looking for. And, you know, she gets a sighting of something. She gets a feeling. She's going to be, in my eyes, really one of the players that will adapt to that very quickly and really just sort out any issues. So yeah, I don't really agree if this is going to be the exact same. If it's just 4 gates, okay. I mean, I know it's the same sort of idea, but 4 gates is a bit more transitionary, but nope, it's just straight up 5 gates.
I think PiLiPiLi is also hoping that Scarlett, like many Zergs out there, would only have 1 Overlord scouting and where the other Overlord is. But the fact that this one comes on the right side and gets like literally the fullest, you know, not quite fastest, but still pretty damn fast scout, isn't a fantastic start for PiLiPiLi. So Scarlett, you know, she's got drones on the way, a couple more, all right, and then that Roach War, and I imagine Ling production.
Yeah, see, that makes sense to me. She just knows what's coming now, and I really would be surprised if she was caught off guard in the same way again. As PiLi starts to move out onto the map, we'll see what his time is going to look like. I mean, it should be pretty sharp once again. I mean, it was deadly in the first game. 20 Lings on the way. Already feels better, right? She's going to be popping out like 20 plus Lings. She already has the numbers to surround those Adepts a bit more easily. And then she's got the gas set to go to build a bunch of Roaches all at once. So this time she doesn't have to keep on making Lings forever to keep on defending. She can just get those Roaches ready to go and Go from there. Gonna let the queens fight this initially. Adepts are not gonna get a mineral line, so it's a full surrounding range of a spine crawler zombie grub. This is probably worst case scenario for PiLiPiLi, who is gonna lose, I want to say every single adept, but maybe one gets away. Nope. Oh, it did get away. Look at that. For about a second. Every last adept goes down. And the prism as well. Oh.
Wow, she just slapped us down.
Yeah.
Oh
You're
my
right.
god, she just like, not today. Not for a second time. No one does it twice to me. Damn, I mean, you can't even really recover from this. This is so bad for PiLiPiLi.
No, I'm telling you what, you can already see he's like, man, this didn't work. Because instead of going up into like Immortals and like, oh, I'm going to come in 2-base all and kill you, he's like, Robo Bay, probably Prism Speed and a Disruptor, try and get myself back in this game. But yeah, well, look at Scarlett. She's just drawn up to 55. She's going to be on her way to a lair already. She has no reason to make more units, and there should be no reason she takes further damage. So PiLiPiLi is just in a really, really rough spot.
There would even be some potential with the War Prism being alive, you know? It's already terrible the Adept shaded in when they did. I don't know if he meant to cancel or he didn't realize that there was twice as many Lings, I suppose, but that was already pretty bad. The War Prism could have at least given some possibility with some really like slick micro, but there's no pressure. Scarlett felt no pressure. And the only thing she would have to feel pressure about is like, okay, what type of follow-up is this? Do I have to prepare for a 2-base all-in? Which I don't think PiLiPiLi could do unless these disruptors get some amazing shots.
I mean, you could do it, but you're just going to run into way too many units. I mean, you're going to be completely reliant on the disruptors, and not just disruptors in like that fight, but like the disruptors beforehand have to kill so much, I think.
Well, there's one thing that disruptors can be kind of good at. It is taking out these roaches. Roaches, I mean, they're definitely splittable, right? Especially when they have roach speed and they're on creep. But yeah, I think even with its popularity recently, we're talking about that, disruptor follow-ups seem to be more popular than not. I don't know, there's still that chance that Scarlett gets overeager, just isn't paying attention to her roaches. She's paying attention to adepts, going somewhere. And a good chunk of roaches get taken off. And there is also still a potential for the disruptors to actually get a lot of drones. So we'll see what PiLiPiLi tries to even target. He's going to find the third hatch. Oh, he's going to find the Ravager cocoons?
Yep.
Okay, well, it wasn't fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, you kill a couple of roaches, right? That's fine for Scarlett. Like, she can afford to lose a couple of roaches. That's okay. Yeah, I mean, you can just see this zombie Ling, Roach, Ravager moving down the bottom side of the map. PiLi's trying to take a third base, and I feel like that's an extremely hopeful idea. He's got a Colossus out. He kind of needs this Disruptor back home to help defend these roaches. Well, these two Disruptors. Gets a kill on the 4th base, but yeah, I mean, a 4th base versus you dying because you have really nothing at all here. The Scarlett looked like she wanted to try and get a wraparound, but she actually brought a lot of the roaches back down. Is there a way that PiLiPiLi holds this zombie grub? I don't think there is.
Yeah, this time I'm going to say confidently no. I mean, Shield Batteries are kind of good. Warp Prism comes back with the Disruptor. He's going to get a pretty good shot. Not really. Second split.
They were both okay, right? But okay was never going to cut it in this defense in the slightest. And PiLiPiLi's going to try and stay alive. The Disruptor's still not ready to fire again. He's hoping. He's like bringing out the Prism. Like, please be ready. Nope. Not at all. He's still waiting for it. He keeps dropping it down, and it's just going to be too much Roach Ravager. The initial attack just did not do enough. The Disruptor is dead, and so is PiLiPiLi.